Hey there, Stampers. Welcome to another Friday Live. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and I come on Facebook at 11 a.m. Mountain Time every Friday to craft live with you. We're doing something fun today, something a little bit different. I'm just gonna pull up my screen here so that I can see your comments. As you join us, be sure to say hi so I know that you're watching and I know who's here. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask them. I try to answer them as we go through. If not, I will often go back and answer them. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Mary Liz. Good morning, Kristen. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. My son has a dentist appointment at noon, so gotta make it quick. Okay, so the way we start every week is we draw. Good morning, Beth. Thanks for sharing. We draw for last week's project. So the way that you can get your name entered to win the project, it doesn't matter where you're located. If you're watching Facebook, the live video, you can comment, ask questions. You can share the video for 5 entries. Each comment gets you 1 entry. And then I draw the following week. Now last week I did do a scrapbook page. Scrapbook pages are a little bit harder to put in the mail. So I pulled out a Christmas card. This is one that we created last night at my Christmas class. I'm gonna draw a name from last week's comments and I will pop this in the mail for them. Okay, so I've got everybody's name entered in here. Good morning, Barb. And the winner is Mary Liz. So Mary Liz, I will set that aside for the next time I see you. All right, let's set that aside. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera down and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, it's gonna be a quick Facebook Live today because my son has a dentist appointment and it's going to be like right after this. Okay, so just give me a second here while I flip my camera around. There we go. I'll make sure that we've got it relatively straight. That's pretty good. All right. Okay, so now, my mom and I were sitting at my dining room table the other day and she made a comment about my tablecloth and it got me thinking about how I could recreate the look of my tablecloth. So I took a picture of it this morning. Let me just pull it up on my iPad so that I can show you guys. Photos here. So this is my inspiration for today's project. And I've said this before, you've heard me say it before. Inspiration can come from anywhere. So my inspiration for today's project is my dining room table. Okay, so all right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, do I want to show you guys the card? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to show you guys the card. We are just going to create because when I tried this last night, it did not look good at first. But I kept playing around with it to get it to the look that I could see in my head, and it ended up working quite well. So I want you guys to see what I saw and not see the finished product until it's done, okay? Okay, so I've got my pieces that I need, and we are going to start with a piece of shimmer white cardstock. I believe this measures 3 3/4 by 5. And we are going to use an aqua painter. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that there's no color left over from my aqua painter. There's a bit of green there. So I'm just running it on scrap paper just to make sure that all that color is out. And we're using lots of different ink colors. Move this out of the way. We're gonna start with Daffodil Delight. And we're gonna use some Mango Melody and Poppy Parade. Those are gonna be our first few colors. Okay. So we're gonna start with the lightest, so we're gonna do yellow. And normally when you're coloring in a lined art image, Yes, I did say shimmery white. We're using shimmery white just because I'm using my aqua painter. Regular white doesn't hold the water very well and it will start to pill. So if you're doing this kind of technique, anything usually with the aqua painter, you want to use either shimmer white or watercolor paper, okay? So normally when you're coloring a line art image, you wouldn't normally squeeze the aqua painter because you don't want too much moisture. But for this particular technique, I found that you do want a little bit of moisture. Okay, so I'm rubbing it in there, and then I am just gonna start in the center and just do uneven kind of blobs. Okay, and seriously, it will end up looking good. It looks terrible in the beginning, but it's so simple and I love how it turned out. So uneven blobs. So I'm gonna add, I'll do 3 yellow ones. And then we'll go into orange. Because I'm going to a darker color, I don't necessarily have to make sure that it's clean. And this is really a yellow-based orange. Well, I'm sure most oranges are yellow-based, but okay, again, just uneven. Let's do another orange one over here. Okay, and then we're gonna go into red. Uneven blobs, I can do that, that's right. Anybody can do this, seriously. If I can do this, anyone can do this. Let's see, Ray Liz says, when I squished one of my ink pads to get ink on the lid, it cracked. Oh, Gorilla Glue might work, or even just packing tape. Just cover the top with packing tape. That might help too. You just want to seal it just so that the air doesn't get in there. Okay, so now I'm going into Poppy Parade because I want to add some red in here. Let's do... a nice big red one up here. And I'm doing some off the edge as well. Let's add another red one here. Okay, and don't worry about how much space there is in between because you'll see how I fix that in a bit. So now I'm going to clean my aqua painter again because I'm going to go back and add, okay, I'm done with the Poppy Parade, so let's put that away. And I'm done with the daffodil. Okay, so now I am going to take a little bit of mango, and in my daffodil flowers, I'm going to add a little bit darker center. Okay, and again, I'm not concerned too much with the way it looks. Now I'm going to take a bit of pumpkin pie, and I'm going to do the same thing inside my Mango Melody. And then I'm going to take some Real Red, which I don't have my Real Red ink here. Let me grab it. So a bit of Real Red because I want a darker shade of red in the center of my Poppy Parade. Oh, that's quite dark. Okay, doesn't that look terrible? It looks horrible, but you know what? You're right, Beth, it is fun. Okay, so now I'm going to clean my aqua painter, make sure all that color is out because we want to add some leaves. So these will end up looking like flowers. They don't look like much right now. Okay, so I'm gonna use some garden green and I'm going to freehand draw some leaves. And I probably should have pre-done this because this is going to take a bit of time. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going for the whole watercolored kind of just, you know how watercolored, it's not perfect. Yes, it does dry pretty fast. I'm not adding a ton of moisture. And before we do the next step, we'll set it aside to dry and we'll work on our greeting and the rest of the things that are gonna go on the card. So we will set it aside a little bit just to make sure, just especially where we've doubled up on the layers, like the center of the flowers will take a little longer to dry. All right, a few more leaves here. So you can kind of see how I tied in the pattern from the tablecloth and I'm creating my own. I would probably have a stamp that would work really well with this too, but I thought it would be fun to try something a little bit different. Okay, let's just, we got quite a bit of white space here, so I'm just gonna add in a couple leaves. Okay, I think that's good for now. So now, like I said, we're gonna set this aside just so that we can give a little bit more time to the center of those flowers to dry. I mean, it looks okay now. You can kind of see the similarities, but wait until we add some more detail to it and it will look amazing afterwards. Or at least I think it looks amazing. Okay, so let's see our greeting. We want to stamp, where's my stamp? Okay, so this is the stamp set that I chose. I wanted the Enjoy Your Special Day because I want to make it a birthday card. And I forgot to grab a piece of Whisper White cardstock, so let's do that. Okay, so I've got the image, or the greeting, and I'm just gonna use Memento black ink. And stamp that on here. Does anybody else like to experiment with things like this? To me, this feels kind of artistic. I know stamping, I mean, I guess it is kind of an art, but it doesn't necessarily make me feel artsy. Doing these flowers kind of made me feel artsy. Okay, I think stamping definitely is a creative art. But when I think of artsy or artistic, I think of more of like paint and messiness and just random, just that kind of thing. Okay, so I am using one of our stitched nested labels and I'm positioning it so that it is a little bit further to the left, and you'll see why in a minute. I gotta stand up, make sure that's straight. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, exactly. It's just like you're painting. Okay, I'll move this guy out of the way. All right. Feeling a bit, I don't know, kind of frazzled today because normally in the mornings, I'm really good. I love my job. I love what I do. And so I set my alarm for 6:15. I'm usually up between 6:30 and 7 and ready to go and showered and changed and all that. And this morning I stayed in bed until just after 8. And that's why my hair is in a bun. I didn't feel like doing my hair. I think it's just we're getting close to the end of summer, and I just know that those lazy mornings are few and far between. So I'm trying to kind of enjoy those as long as I can. And I know that we have a busy day today, and actually even just the next week leading up to school is busy. So I think I was just feeling a little bit lazy this morning, but then that just kind of put me behind, and I'm feeling a little frazzled knowing that we have a dentist appointment, and then I have a million other things to get done before the end of the day. Okay, so I offset that. So I added that to the next size of the black shape and offset it so that there was a nice even border along the top, the bottom, and then on the left. And now I'm just gonna snip this or cut this. Actually, and I don't know that this is gonna cut through 2 layers of cardstock. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So did you guys hear? New paper trimmer coming to demonstrators. It's going to be available to demonstrators by the end of the year. That's exciting. I'm not sure when the release to customers will be just yet. But Stampin' Up! Will fill us in as soon as we get the chance. And if you have, as soon as they know, sorry. And if you have the old paper trimmer and you want more blades, I don't know if you guys saw my posting that August 27th at 10 a.m. they will be available. And of course, while supplies last. So you'll want to get those orders in right away if you want those before they sell out. Okay, so I trimmed that off because my intention is that this is going to go off the page like this. Okay, all right. I think this is good. We'll go back and add the detail to this. So now I've got kind of the markers that kind of coordinate with these inks. So my garden green ink or marker, it was kaput. So the fine tip didn't work, and that's the tip that I need for this. So I am using shaded spruce, and I'm just going to add some detail. And I'm not tracing right around the outside of the image, like some of the images. Let me bring this closer so that you guys can see. Can you see how there's still color on the outside? And that gives it that watercolor kind of look. So again, we're not going for perfection here. We just want to add that touch of detail. So I'm going to do that to all the leaves. And can you see how it even just adding that little bit of lined work just really adds to the detail. And we're going to do the same thing to the flower, or the flowers. So what does everybody got planned for the weekend? Anything fun? My son turns 16 next week. I can't believe my baby's gonna be 16. It's crazy. How is that even possible? So we're going to my parents to celebrate his birthday tomorrow, and then we'll celebrate with him just on our own next week when it's actually his birthday. Shauna says, would not have known you demo projects so well. Oh, thanks, Shauna. Mary Liz says, give yourself permission for self-care. I'm learning this lesson. Yes, I know, Mary Liz. I've got a hair appointment next week. I am so excited. Cut and color. I love getting my hair done. Beth is cleaning. Barb having a mortgage burning party tomorrow and swaps on Sunny. What is a mortgage burning party? Is your mortgage paid off and you're celebrating? Is that what that is? I've never heard of a mortgage burning party. Mary Liz finalizing swap designs and one last birthday lunch. Oh my goodness, your birthday's going on forever and ever, Mary Liz. Sean is in Manitoba for a family reunion. Those are always fun. Beth says, I can't believe our oldest is going to be 40 in January. Wow, crazy. Okay, so now for the flowers, what I'm gonna do is for the yellow, I'm going to use crushed curry because I want it to be a little darker. And I'm gonna trace around the outside of the flower. Oh, with this light, it's really kind of hard to see here. Let's try going this way. There we go. So I'm tracing around the outside, and then I'm going on the inside, I'm just going to add just some detail. It's not quite dry. So I'll have to try that again in a minute here. Okay. Hopefully, I'll show you guys when we do the darker color. I think it'll show up a little bit more. Oh, I gotta do it this way so that I can see. Oh, my marker is not... I might have to pull in a yellow Sharpie marker. Okay, one more. I can see my screen going, hey Susan, retired stamp sale for me this weekend. Oh, that'll be fun, Kristen. It's always nice to get rid of some stuff. Barb, burning our photocopied mortgage papers on the fire pit in backyard after dinner and drinks. That sounds like fun. Okay, my yellow marker has almost had it here. Just have one more. Just work for me, just this little bit here. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my pumpkin pie and do the orange. Might have to use maybe terracotta. Can't see the detail on this. That orange bit is a little dark. Okay. So I'm just adding a bit, kind of some detail, just kind of some lines. You can kind of see, let me move it closer. Kind of see the lines there just to make it, give it a bit of dimension in the center of the flowers. And then I'm going to take, what color is this? Poppy Parade, and do the red ones. And this one. Yeah, that's awesome, Barb, to have your mortgage paid off. That's always a big, big step. Gets you closer to retirement. Okay, one more flower here. And then I wanted to add a little bit more detail in between. In between the flowers. So what I did is I took the thicker of the two, they're not called Project Life pens anymore, but they look exactly like this. So I took the 0.5 and I'm going to add just some random little dots in here. Just kind of all over the place, just to fill in some of this white space, and I really think it adds to it. Okay. All right, so now we can go ahead and assemble our card. So this is going to go onto a piece of basic black cardstock. And the black is just 1/8 of an inch bigger on both sides, so it measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then this guy is gonna go on here, lining it right up with the edge of the white. Okay, which way do I want this to go? This kind of reminds me of an egg, so I'm gonna cover that guy up. I don't like that one flower. I'm gonna go up a little higher. Okay. And then that piece is going to go onto a Poppy Parade card base, so 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm going to use dimensionals. And I'm going to use our new black dimensionals, which are coming out in the holiday catalog. They'll be available September 4th. Unless you're a demonstrator, then you can order them, you can put them on your pre-order now. Barb says she's double income, no kids kind of people. Yeah, kids can be very expensive, but they are lots of fun. All right, so sticking that on, and then what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut, this is a new ribbon from the holiday catalog. It's basic black, but I think it's called the scalloped edge ribbon. So it's got this nice scallop edge and some stitching detail on here. And I've cut a piece and then wrapped a piece of white baker's twine around it. And I forgot my mini glue dots. So I'm just going to use a mini glue dot and stick that on. So just like that. Might have to trim that just a little bit. And then I've got a white piece. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I wanted to add a bit of something. So I'm going to use the leaf punch. Punch one of these out of vellum. And then use my bone folder and curl up the leaves. Yes, I'm excited about black dimensionals too, Beth. Okay, and I'll just add just a little bit of adhesive in behind here. And then I'm going to just tuck it underneath here. Just like that. Okay, so that's the outside of the card. And then for the inside, I am just going to add a white layer. I didn't add any greetings or anything in there. And if I were to use shimmer white, I could add a couple flowers on the inside as well, but I just chose to use regular white. And once I decide who I'm going to give the card to, then I can stamp the inside. Sometimes it's nice to leave the inside blank until you know who you're going to give it to. So there we go. And here's the one that I made last night. So it's kind of fun, hey? And it's a different way to use your ink pads and your crafting supplies. So just, I encourage you to freehand experiment. I mean, I think another great way to do this is if you were doing like pine trees, Christmas trees, you could probably easily do those and then add some detail with a marker. But I thought it was kind of fun to try something a little bit different. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a fabulous weekend. If there are any supplies that you want to order, feel free to visit my online store and use this host code for August, and I'll send you a little gift in the mail with your minimum order. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.